Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into social media influencers and how they've totally changed pop culture,
Yeah.
you know? And we've got
Right.
this really interesting script we're looking at that goes through their whole rise and the impact they've had and where things might be going in the future. It's a pretty wild world out there, you
Yeah.
know? It's not just about celebrities endorsing products anymore.
Right. It's a whole
Um,
new landscape,
yeah.
a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And what I think is so interesting about the way that this script frames things is that it's not just about advertising. It's a huge cultural shift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fundamental change to what it means to be famous,
Yeah.
to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
It's not about the traditional gatekeepers anymore, like Hollywood or record labels.
Yeah. It's almost like anyone with a smartphone and a story to tell could become like a cultural icon these days.
Hmm.
I remember back in like the early days of YouTube,
Yeah.
it felt like a bunch of friends just kind of hanging out online, making silly videos.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, those friends were reaching millions of people.
Totally. And
Yeah.
now on platforms like TikTok, someone can just go viral overnight.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the speed at which trends take off now is
Yeah.
just mind-blowing. I think about how fashion used to be dictated by seasonal runway shows and music was controlled by record labels and all that.
Right.
But influencers have totally flipped the script.
Yeah, they have. They've made things much more dynamic, I think. Much more responsive
Yeah.
to what audiences actually want.
Yeah.
It's like a constant feedback loop.
So how did we even get here? How did we go from those early YouTube days to this massive, multifaceted world of influencers?
Well, I think social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok
Yeah.
gave everyday people a voice
Yeah.
and a global stage.
Mhm.
They could connect directly with their audience in a way that was never possible before.
And it's not just one type of influencer anymore either.
Mhm.
We've got beauty gurus and tech reviewers and gamers and fitness experts and chefs. It's like a whole ecosystem.
It is a whole ecosystem. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Do you think that specialization is part of what's made them so effective at driving these trends?
I think so. Yeah. Because they're able to build these communities
Mhm.
around shared interests.
Yeah.
They're seen as authentic and relatable, unlike those often really kind of polished images of traditional celebrities.
Yeah.
And that authenticity is key when it comes to influencing consumer behavior.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Have you ever bought something because an influencer you follow recommended it?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I think most of us have at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's become a totally different way to approach marketing and advertising
Mhm.
instead of relying on traditional commercials. Brands are tapping into the power of storytelling
Yeah.
and authentic product integration.
Yeah.
They're partnering with influencers who already have the trust and attention of their target audience.
It's like that friend who always knows the coolest new spots or has the inside scoop on the latest gadgets.
Right.
But now that friend might have millions of followers and their recommendations can make or break a product.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect example of this is Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
She's built this massive makeup empire
She has.
largely through her social media presence.
It's incredible what she's done.
Yeah.
It's fascinating how she leveraged that sense of community and exclusivity.
Yeah.
She created those limited edition products,
Oh, yeah.
tapped into FOMO,
Yeah.
fear of missing out,
Totally.
used her platform to build that anticipation and hype.
Hmm.
It was really brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Turned her into like a cultural icon and a business mogul.
Yeah. It's pretty wild to think about how much power these individuals have.
Yeah.
But it's not just the mega influencers like Kylie who
Right.
are driving these trends. The script also talks about the rise of micro influencers.
Yeah, micro-influencers might have smaller followings, but they often have incredibly engaged audiences within specific niches.
Right.
Like, let's say you're a brand selling sustainable clothing.
Okay.
Partnering with a micro-influencer who's passionate about eco-conscious fashion can be much more effective
Yeah.
than trying to reach a broad audience with just like a generic ad campaign.
Totally. It feels a lot more personal
Mhm.
and less like a sales pitch,
Yeah,
which makes me think about how social media has also completely changed the music industry.
totally.
It used to be all about record deals and radio play,
Right.
but now with platforms like TikTok,
Yeah.
anyone can become a global music sensation practically overnight.
It's amazing. Like TikTok has created this whole new avenue for music discovery.
Mm-hmm.
It's organic.
Yeah.
and unpredictable,
Mm.
driven by user-generated content and viral trends.
Yeah.
Like, remember Lil Nas X,
Oh, yeah.
Old Town Road?
Yeah.
Went viral through TikTok challenges
Oh, yeah.
and ended up top in the charts.
It's true. And think about Olivia Rodrigo's driver's license.
Yep.
That song dominated the internet.
Totally.
Launched her whole career.
It's true.
It's like TikTok is the new MTV,
Yeah,
but with even more reach and a much faster pace.
absolutely.
It's fascinating to see how established artists are now using TikTok to connect with younger audiences and promote their music.
Yeah. It's no longer optional.
Yeah.
Social media, and particularly TikTok, has become an essential part of any music marketing strategy.
Yeah.
It's a powerful tool for building hype and generating buzz and even shaping like the direction of music trends.
Mm-hmm. It feels like influencers have become these tastemakers in so many different areas.
Yeah.
But the script doesn't stop at just music and consumer goods.
Right.
It highlights how they're increasingly becoming like agents of change.
Yeah. That's a really important aspect to consider.
Yeah.
They're leveraging their platforms to advocate for social and political causes, using their voices to amplify important conversations
Yeah.
and inspire real-world action.
Right. We've seen it with Greta Thunberg
Yeah.
and her advocacy for climate action.
Yeah. And there are countless other influencers who are raising awareness about mental health and social justice and LGBTQ plus rights
Absolutely.
and so many other critical issues.
What's so fascinating is how they're mobilizing audiences
Yeah.
and changing the way we think about activism. They're making it more accessible and engaging
Yeah.
for younger generations.
Yeah.
And they're holding powerful institutions and individuals accountable.
Yeah.
It's a force to be reckoned with.
But of course, with all this influence comes a whole lot of complexity, right?
Yeah.
This script doesn't shy away from like the dark side of influencer culture either.
It's true. There are definitely some serious downsides to consider.
Yeah.
You know, the pressure to maintain this perfect image online can be immense.
Mm-hmm.
It can lead to unrealistic beauty standards
Yeah.
and like a distorted view of reality.
It makes me think about how many young people are constantly bombarded with these like idealized versions of life, which can be incredibly damaging to their self-esteem
And their mental health. It's a huge problem.
It is. And the script brings up a crucial point. Are we becoming too reliant on influencers for our information and entertainment?
Yeah.
Are we allowing them to dictate our values and beliefs without critically evaluating their messages?
Yeah.
These are questions we all need to be asking ourselves.
It's easy to get caught up in the aspirational lifestyle that they often portray.
Right.
And forget that it's often carefully curated
Totally.
for maximum impact. It's like a highlight reel, not real life.
Exactly. And it's
Uh-uh.
crucial to remember that the online world, particularly the world of influencers, isn't always an accurate reflection of reality. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors involved.
Right. And let's not forget about influencer scandals
Oh, yeah.
and cancel culture,
Right.
which adds another layer of complexity to this whole discussion.
The scrutiny that these individuals face is relentless.
Yeah.
One wrong move, one questionable statement, and their entire career can be jeopardized.
Yeah,
It's a high-stakes game,
it is.
and the consequences can be devastating.
And then there's the whole issue of authenticity, which
Yeah.
seems to be a recurring theme in this script.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
rise of fake influencers
Mm-hmm.
and the manipulation of engagement metrics,
Yeah.
those are major concerns.
Yeah.
It's becoming increasingly difficult to discern what's genuine
Right.
and what's fabricated.
So how do we navigate this
Uh.
world of influencers and make sense of it all, especially with all these potential pitfalls?
Well, I think the key takeaway here is awareness.
Okay.
The more we understand how influencer culture works,
Mm-hmm.
the better equipped we are to make informed decisions
Yeah.
about who we follow,
Right.
what we consume,
Mm-hmm.
and how we allow it to influence our lives.
So it's not about avoiding social media or influencers altogether?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
It's about being more mindful and discerning.
Okay.
Don't take everything at face value.
Mm-hmm.
Do your own research.
Okay.
Question their motives.
Yeah.
And consider the potential biases
Right.
behind the content you're consuming.
Like we need to develop a healthy skepticism.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to like sponsored content or
Yeah.
product recommendations.
Exactly. Remember, influencers are often being paid
Yeah.
to promote certain products or ideas.
Right.
Their recommendations may not always be objective or aligned with your best interests.
That's a really good point. So what are some practical steps we can take to become more savvy consumers of influencer content?
Well, for starters, be selective about who you follow.
Okay.
Choose or follow accounts that align with your values,
Mm-hmm.
that promote positive messages,
Yeah.
and that offer genuine insights
Right.
or entertainment.
It's like curating your own online experience rather than just letting the algorithms dictate what you see.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to unfollow or mute accounts that don't resonate with you
Yeah.
or that promote negativity
Right.
or unrealistic expectations.
Mhm.
You have the power to control your own digital well-being.
I love that taking control of our own online experience, it's something we often forget about.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just passively scroll and consume whatever pops up on our feeds.
And speaking of what pops up on our feeds, this script also delves into the future of influencer culture.
Okay.
One of the most fascinating aspects, I think, is the rise of virtual influencers.
Oh, yeah.
These computer-generated personalities that are blurring the lines between human and artificial intelligence.
It's like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
Isn't
I
it?
remember seeing those early virtual influencers
Yeah,
and thinking, okay, that's kind of cool, but it's definitely not real.
right.
But now the technology is getting so sophisticated
Yeah.
that it's becoming harder to tell the difference.
It really makes you wonder what it even means to be authentic
Right.
in a digital world
Yeah.
where reality and artificiality are becoming increasingly intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
It's a question that has huge implications for the future of influencer culture.
What do you think is driving this trend towards virtual influencers? Is it just about novelty or is there something more to it?
I think there are a few factors at play.
Yeah.
For brands,
Yeah.
virtual influencers offer a level of control and predictability
Mm-hmm.
that human influencers just can't match.
Right.
They never get sick.
Yeah.
They never have a bad day.
Yeah.
And they'll never say anything controversial
Right.
that could damage the brand's reputation.
It's like the perfect spokesperson
Right.
programmed to deliver the desired message flawlessly.
Mhm.
But it also feels a little unsettling.
Yeah.
Don't you
A
think?
little bit.
Like, are we heading towards a future where our favorite celebrities and influencers
Yeah.
might not even be real people?
It's a strange thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it raises a lot of ethical questions.
Mhm.
Like, how do we ensure that these virtual influencers are being used responsibly?
Yeah.
How do we prevent them from being used to deceive or manipulate people?
Right. And what about the impact on human influencers?
Yeah.
Will they become obsolete in a world dominated by perfectly curated virtual personalities?
It's hard to say for sure what the future holds,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to remember that technology is just a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It can be used for good or bad,
Right.
depending on the intentions of those who wield it.
So the responsibility ultimately lies with us to be aware of the potential pitfalls
Yeah.
and to demand transparency and accountability from the brands and creators
Yeah.
behind these virtual influencers.
Exactly. We need to be critical consumers of this content and make informed choices
Mm-hmm.
about how we engage with it.
And that brings us back to a core theme of the script, the importance of media literacy.
Media literacy.
Mhm.
What is that?
Yeah. In a world that's saturated with information and increasingly sophisticated technologies, it's more important than ever to be able to critically evaluate the content we consume.
So it's not just about understanding like the technical aspects of how media is created and distributed.
All right. It's about recognizing bias.
Understanding the motives
Yeah.
behind the message.
Right.
And being able to separate fact from fiction.
Okay.
It's about being able to think critically
Mm-hmm.
and make informed decisions about what we believe
Yeah.
and how we allow ourselves to be influenced.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like we need to develop a whole new set of skills
Yeah.
to navigate this evolving media landscape.
We do. And it's
Yeah.
not just about protecting ourselves from manipulation or misinformation.
Mhm.
It's about being able to engage with media in a more meaningful
Yeah.
and empowering way.
So media literacy is about more than just being a passive consumer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about becoming an active participant in shaping the media landscape.
Okay.
It's about demanding better
Mm-hmm.
from the creators and distributors of media.
Yeah.
And it's about using our own voices
Right.
to contribute to a more informed and equitable media environment.
I love that. It's about reclaiming our power in a world that often feels like it's designed to manipulate and control us.
Exactly. And it's a journey, not a destination.
Mm.
As technology continues to evolve, so too will the challenges and opportunities
Right.
of media literacy.
It's like a constant learning process.
Yeah.
We need to stay informed and adaptable to keep up with the rapid pace of change.
Precisely. And remember, this journey of understanding and navigating the media landscape isn't something we do alone.
Yeah.
We can learn from each other, share resources,
Mm-hmm.
and support one another in developing these critical skills.
Totally. It's like a collective effort
It is.
to become more informed and empowered media consumers.
Exactly.
Well said. So it sounds like media literacy is really all about taking a more active role in shaping our online experiences
Yeah,
and recognizing that we have more power than we often realize.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We have the power to choose what we consume,
Mm-hmm.
who we follow, and how we allow ourselves to be influenced.
And to demand better from the creators and platforms that shape the media landscape.
Totally.
It's about becoming more conscious
Mhm.
and intentional about our relationship with media.
It is. And that's really what this script is all about.
Mm.
It's about helping us understand the complex world of influence
Mm-hmm.
and empowering us to navigate it in a way that aligns with our values and our aspirations.
It's a fascinating and ever-evolving landscape,
It is.
and one that we all need to be paying attention to.
Absolutely.
It feels like this whole conversation about influencers has really opened my eyes to how complex this digital world really is.
Yeah.
It's more than just liking pictures and watching funny videos.
Yeah.
It's this powerful force that shapes like our perceptions and behaviors and ultimately like our culture.
Yeah. And this script does a great job of highlighting that evolution.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not just about human influencers anymore.
Yeah.
It's about algorithms and virtual personalities and this whole wave of new technologies that are changing the very fabric of influence.
It's a lot to process,
Yeah.
but I think the key takeaway here is about empowerment.
Right.
Like, we have a choice in how we engage with this world of influence. We can be passive consumers, or we can become more informed and critical thinkers
Right.
who actively shape our online experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This deep dive isn't about telling you who to follow or what to believe. It's about giving you the tools and insights to make those decisions for yourself.
So it's about reclaiming our agency
Yeah.
in a digital world that often feels designed to steer our attention and behavior in specific directions.
Exactly.
We need to be more mindful
Yes.
of the forces at play and more intentional about how we interact with them.
Absolutely.
Right.
And remember, influence itself isn't inherently good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tool.
Right.
It can be used to promote positive change, connect people,
Mm-hmm.
educate, inspire.
Yeah.
But it can also be used to manipulate, deceive, and perpetuate harmful stereotypes.
The responsibility ultimately lies with us to discern the difference and to make conscious choices about who and what we allow to influence our lives.
And this script encourages us to consider like all aspects of influence. We've talked about human influencers, virtual influencers, and even the influence of algorithms.
Yeah.
But there's one more layer we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
Think about the influence of the people in your real life.
Yeah.
Your friends, family, colleagues,
Right.
they shape your perspectives too.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the world of online influencers and forget that we're constantly being influenced by the people we interact with every day.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
And it all contributes to who we are and how we view the world.
Yeah.
So as you reflect on this deep dive, think about all the different sources of influence in your life, both online and offline.
Yeah.
Consider how they shape your beliefs, your values, your
Yeah.
decisions.
Right.
And ask yourself, are these influences aligned with your authentic self and your aspirations for the future?
That's a powerful question to ponder. And it brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of social media influencers.
Yeah.
We hope this conversation has sparked some critical thinking about who or what is influencing your perspectives and decisions in this digital age.
And remember, the journey of understanding and navigating this ever-evolving world continues. Stay curious, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay informed.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.
It feels like this whole conversation about influencers has like really opened my eyes to the complexity of the digital world.
Yeah.
It's more than just liking pictures and watching funny videos, you know?
Yeah.
It's this powerful force that shapes our perceptions, our behaviors, and ultimately our culture.
And this script does a great job of highlighting that evolution. You know, remember, it's not just about human influencers anymore. It's about algorithms and virtual personalities and this whole wave of new technologies that are changing the very fabric of influence.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
It is.
But I think the key takeaway here is about empowerment. Like we have a choice in how we engage with this world of influence. We can be passive consumers, or we can become more informed critical thinkers who actively shape our online experiences. Absolutely. And that's what this deep dive is all about. It's not about telling you who to follow or what to believe, but giving you the tools and the insights to make those decisions for yourself.
So it's about reclaiming our agency in a digital world that often feels designed to steer our attention and our behavior in very specific directions.
Exactly.
We need to be more mindful of the forces at play and more intentional about how we interact with them.
Absolutely. And remember, influence itself isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool. It can be used to promote positive change, connect people, educate, inspire.
Yeah.
But it can also be used to manipulate, deceive, and perpetuate harmful stereotypes.
So the responsibility ultimately lies with us to discern the difference and make conscious choices about who and what we allow to influence our lives.
And this script really encourages us to consider all aspects of influence. We've talked about human influencers, virtual influencers, and even the influence of algorithms. But there's one more layer we haven't touched on yet.
Okay.
Think about the influence of the people in your real life. Your friends, your family, your colleagues. They shape your perspectives, too.
Yeah. That's so true. It's easy to get caught up in this world of online influencers and forget that we're constantly being influenced by the people we interact with every single day.
It's all connected, and it all contributes to who we are and how we view the world. So as you reflect on this deep dive, think about all the different sources of influence in your life, both online and offline.
Okay.
Consider how they shape your beliefs, your values, your decisions, and ask yourself, are these influences aligned with my authentic self and my aspirations for the future?
That's a really powerful question to consider. And it brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of social media influencers.
It does.
We hope this conversation has sparked some critical thinking about who or what is influencing your perspectives and your decisions in this digital age.
Absolutely. And remember, the journey of understanding and navigating this ever-evolving world continues. Stay curious, stay engaged, and most importantly, stay informed.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning.